That's quite disturbing. I didn't know this cable will be disturbing me. I'm trying to charge at the same time. Thank you. Once again, Mr. JB is discussing ecology, and we continue with the other part of the syllabus, which is feeding relationships and energy flow. Allow me to mention on the onset that in the syllabus outcome, one of the syllabus outcome under ecology is your ability to design food chain. You should be able to design a food chain. Now, a food chain should show a chain of flow of how energy flows, right? Energy relationship, feeding relationships, and energy flow. So a food chain must have what we call the producer, the primary consumer, and the secondary consumer. As such, your food chain should have those characteristics, the three characteristics: the primary consumer, the secondary consumer, and the producer, the primary consumer, and the secondary consumer. Those should appear as such. That being the case, I would like you to understand that a simple design of the food chain should indicate in your writing. So, for example, plants with an arrow going to the right, eaten by impala, for example, impala, which is now the primary consumer. Then impalas are eaten by lions, which are the secondary consumers. So every food chain must have those characteristics. It's important that you realize that a food chain must have those features. The three features, they should be the producer, the primary consumer, and the secondary consumer. So if you are asked to design a food chain, don't break your heart, don't break your leg, don't break anything of your parts of your body, the parts of your body, because this is simply about you noticing that you should mention a plant which is eaten by the primary consumer, and thereafter a secondary consumer. You can say plant, rabbit are eaten by foxes. Of course, don't mention foxes, because in Africa the foxes are not here in Africa. It's somewhere in the European countries there. But so of course, plant, rabbit, hyena, or however you can put it. So this is how it goes. Design a food web. You see, in a food web, it is simply I don't like the way it is actually put here. In a food web, we are simply looking at now how the interconnections between these, how this one is eaten by that and that is eaten by that. So I'm just going to see if I can turn my camera. Is it possible or it's not possible? It's not possible. I wanted to turn my camera that I can show you a food web, an example of a food web. An example of a food web. I guess in the next video I'll be discussing the food web. Okay, I'll be discussing the food web. In the next video I'll be discussing the food web. For now, we have discussed we've discussed the food chain. The food chain is simply the flow of energies as in such a way as starting with the producer, the primary consumer, and the secondary consumer. For now, thank you so much and God bless you.